and you said it's
Great.
8:01.
Okay, Lauren,
I'm here.
you're here. Right? You are here. Pat.
Hello, I'm here.
Hey, me, Rebecca, I am here. Mike,
Here.
Joe,
Here.
Brandon,
Here.
Francisco,
Here.
June,
Here.
all right, Mark,
Here and here.
Wesley,
Present.
Mimi,
Here.
Dave,
Here.
Richard,
Here.
Paul,
Here.
right, and Starchild. Well, I see him on it. Hey, Starchild, are you here?
He's just muted.
All right. Okay, it looks like actually everybody's here. I mean, technically, I think Nick is no longer on the committee, so that's why I didn't call. And he's not here anyway.
He's an alternate, right?
Yes, he's an alternate, but he also missed
1,
2
2,
meetings.
Yeah, here I am. I was muted. Sorry.
8, 9, 10,
All the non-alternates are here then.
11, 12, 13.
Everybody's
telling you
here.
14. Okay, yeah.
We have a
Everybody's here. 14.
vacancy for the Central Area
Yeah, the
Coordinator.
Central Area
Yeah,
Coordinator.
it's all 14. Yeah.
Okay. So we are all here, which means that the first thing we need to do then is waive the notice requirement for this meeting, since we are all here. Is there any objection? Can we do this as an objection? Is there any objection to waiving notice for this meeting? All right, we're an official meeting. Okay, so the situation as it stands. So Tom is endorsing Steve Hilton, and I would have sworn that somewhere in there he says he's dropping out of the race. But we've received a couple of different communications in that respect. So why is he doing this? Well, Tom has communicated via an email, and you have all seen that. You've seen his email, and I've had a phone conversation with Tom, and I've seen the in writing declaration from the Hilton campaign that he says he has. I've seen that. I can attest that it exists, and I can attest that it represents an absorption of Tom's environment platform into the Hilton campaign. And it includes a declaration that Tom Woodard will be appointed as the director of this program. That's kind of a campaign document. I don't know that I'm comfortable just sharing that, but I want to just alert you that it does in fact exist. Tom does have a written document from the Hilton campaign indicating that he will take a role in the Hilton administration should Hilton be elected. So that's kind of where we're at. There's a whole lot of different ways that people feel about that. So I would like to, I think, just go around the room and let people get some stuff off their chest. In the proud tradition of Orwell, we'll each take a 2 minutes hate and have an opportunity. It starts on shaking his head. And we'll go around the room and give everybody an opportunity to say what they want for like 2 minutes. So, Pat, start us off. 2 minutes.
Boy, the pressure. Well, the toothpaste is out of the tube. There's nothing we can do. Distance ourselves from him. He's really shown a person of low moral character to do this to us. Joe had an excellent statement of what we need to put on our website, that we do not endorse the Hilton campaign. I think karma's going to come and bite him in the ass, because Steve Hilton, I don't think, will make the top 2. So he sold his soul for nothing. Goodbye, good riddance, and adios. And that $5,000, being a person of low moral character, I don't think he's going to return it. Pretty good for 2-minute hate.
Yeah, you did that in 40 seconds. That's good. Okay.
Point of personal privilege.
Okay.
Can I go next because I have to get in the car shortly?
That's fair. Go ahead.
Okay, and I put my points in the chat. So I was trying to take the high road. I have not talked to Tom. I spent a lot of time and energy on the campaign. I'm going to talk to him tomorrow. I already scheduled time with him. I don't have any insider background. It was a total shock to me too. So my points would be number one, thank him for running, with the comment of it's a tough environment with top two and the Democrats and Republicans spending bizarre amounts of money on their campaign. So we understand with those obstacles why he might change his mind about continuing to run. Second is we, the Libertarian Party of California, and this is where we can take, I think, the high road and make some good points. We'll continue to recruit candidates that are pro-freedom, not socialists, which was Tom's main reason for running as a libertarian and our reason for endorsing him. I put in some stuff about recognizing nuances to the freedoms and message, and not everybody gets along with every plank of everything for each of our candidates, but that's normal business. You know, the other point would be that I didn't put in here was, you know, running candidates is only one approach. We will continue to oppose bad ballot measures. We will continue to promote other policies for California. They're good libertarian policies. And then the next point would be we respect his personal decision to drop out, but we don't endorse voting for Steve Hilton, the Republican and Trump endorsed candidate. We don't like any of the front runners. So normally we'd encourage NOTA, but again, that's not an option in California. But since his name is on the ballot, if you want to protest, you can stay home or you can vote for the Libertarian as a protest vote. And fourth is wishing him good luck and trying to provide freedom-oriented approaches to environmental issues for California. So you could wordsmith all of it, but those are my 4 points.
Fair enough. All right. Would anyone like to jump out there? Has somebody got a strong opinion they want to share here for 2 minutes?
I don't think we're actually going to get the money back anytime soon. I think we should at least make the effort to get it back. I think he's going to find that Steve Hilton is I don't know if he's a man of his word or not. I suspect he's not, and he's just being played at this point. I wasn't really convinced by the letter that he wrote. I mean, that he suddenly had an epiphany that, you know, money matters in a campaign. I figured that out in junior high. I mean, that's not even, you know, Schoolhouse Rock level of understanding of politics. I mean, so yeah, I'm really not sure what else to say.
I'd
That's
like
fair.
to I'd like to speak.
Okay,
I may.
let's go to Mimi.
Well, first off, I was a little surprised by some of what Tom said in his letter as well. In my very first conversation with him, we talked about the fact that he would not raise that much money and he would not win. And it would be, you know, a difficult race because we're the libertarians and we'd get, you know, 0.5%. So I don't know how he can say he never understood that because we had a conversation about it. I can't, you know, he's an individual with freedom. He doesn't have to run. He's allowed to drop out. That doesn't mean that we have to say that we support it in any way, shape, or form. And I believe that we need to do what Joe suggested, which is put on the website that we do not support Hilton because we do not. And I'm sorry that we did that loan as a loan. We said it was a loan, and we said that at the end of the campaign, if there was money left in the account, he could pay it back. If not, we would consider it a donation. I think that things change when you drop out and you endorse the Republican. So I believe that money is owed to us. I don't know that he has any money in the campaign, but I believe that we need to ask for that loan to be repaid. We're still not charging interest because we never were, but the loan needs to be repaid. And I wish him all the luck in the world. I think that I disagree. I think that Hilton will probably make it to the top two. He will not be our next governor, and there will be no cabinet position, or, you know, I don't know that governors actually have cabinets, but I mean, if they do, I don't think there's going to be a staff position there because he's not going to win. But, you know, God bless him if he does, and if he follows his word. You know, good luck, Tom, on your environmental thing, but we as a party can't support it in any way because we cannot support another party, period. That's all.
Alrighty. Just as a general note, the governor gets to appoint. I think it's the AI tells me that it's approximately 4,000 seats on different commissions and boards and whatevers. So I don't know. It's not really a cabinet, but
Right.
yeah.
That's all I'm saying. It's
right,
not a
for sure.
cabinet. It's
For
he'd
sure.
be,
Yeah, you're right.
He'd be on some environmental board of some sort or another.
Of course. All right. Who would like to go next? Who's got a burning thing they want to say here for 2 minutes?
Can I go?
Go ahead, Brandon.
So I'm more in favor of Dave's solution. I don't like the idea of burning ourselves and shooting ourselves in the foot. I get that Tom made a decision, and it came to a shock to me too. I do think he should maybe pay back the $5,000, but I don't think we should go scorched earth, and I also think we should, strategize and come up with a strategic message that doesn't damage us even more, and figure out a way to come out on top if there is a way. And that's my 2 cents. We can't just keep burning bridges and taking ourselves out when bad things happen. We got to figure out a way to spin it positively if there is any way to do that. That's all I got to say.
Well, the
All right.
way out would be to just say it's against our bylaws to endorse someone from another party.
Well, we'll come around. We'll come around on that, Mike. But
Okay.
who uniquely wants to speak here in this section? Who's got 2 minutes they want to do?
If you don't mind, I'll take it next.
Go ahead, Mark.
So obviously, like many others, or all of us, I'm disappointed in the withdrawal. But I hopefully will take the high road. And frankly, if we were not running anybody for governor, Steve Hill would be the one I would vote for because he's the most libertarian, which seems a reasonable thing. And I believe there's 61 candidates who are running for governor. So that's quite a bit of candidates.
And you've checked all 61, Mark?
No, hell no.
We're not cross talking. We're not cross talking. Mark gets us 2 minutes.
I did look at the list, and there's a lot of Democrats in there, and that's our next governor is likely to be a Democrat. But one thing that hasn't been brought up is I believe is Tom indicated he was very interested in membership growth, and that's something we desperately need. And if he's still willing to do that, regardless of what the role is that he plays in the governor's race, I say let's bring him on board. Let's ask him, hey, are you still interested? And if he is, let's put him to work and grow the party. That's me.
Okay. All right. Who else has 2 minutes they want to share here?
I'll take a crack at it.
Go for it, June.
I thought Tom wrote a very good letter and made some valid points. We have to remember that he is new to politics, basically. And personally, I think that Steve may have played him, quite honestly. I mean, the fact that the notice came out from his campaign before Tom had a chance to share his letter with us, I think is an indicator that he cares more about his own campaign than Tom's future. I personally was contemplating actually voting for someone else other than Tom anyway, because I think it's futile to vote for libertarians in the primary. And I'd rather have the best candidate in the job that we can manage to get under the circumstances under which we have to live. So I don't think we should excoriate him for realizing the realities of politics and deciding to make a turn. I regret mostly that he did not share it with us earlier so that we could have told him how we would feel about it. I'm also concerned that he's basically advocating the implementation of a government-funded program, which is anathema to us, should be. And that upsets me in terms of policy. That was the most upsetting thing. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay. Who's next? Starts out, you have your hand up. Go ahead. 2 minutes. Star Child just dropped from the call.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Just as soon as I went to speak, I accidentally swiped left and closed the window.
I hate when that happens. 2 minutes.
Yes, me too. Yeah, gosh, a lot of things to say here. Tom, I think he's still on the call. I am very disappointed. Talking to you, I did think you seemed like someone of high moral character who wouldn't do this. There's a history in the Libertarian Party of people, who've never been involved before, coming out of the woodwork to run for high offices, and then they run and they lose or they drop out, and then they basically burn the party and go away, and we never hear from them again. So I share with those who've expressed it the hope that you will continue to stay around and work for the party and make this up to us. Give us back the $5,000, assuming you have it. If you want to plead poverty, then do that. But at this point, you have burned the party, and I think we should all vote Libertarian unless there's someone who's more small L Libertarian in the race. I think that June, with all due respect, I don't see not voting Libertarian unless there is somebody who's more philosophically with us, because building the party counts for something. We are building a long-term alternative. We are advancing the ideas by making the party more visible and showing that it has more support, and this has value. And when somebody does something like what Tom did to us, this hurts that cause. It makes us look bad. It makes us look weak. It detracts from the number of votes we will get. I am planning to still vote for Tom, not at this point necessarily because I think he's a great representative for us, but because every vote for the Libertarian on the ballot helps the party, all else being equal. And, voters aren't going to know the inside politics of this. They're just going to see a Libertarian, and maybe some places it'll get reported how many votes that person got. People who are paying attention to politics at that level will see it anyway.
All right, we've hit 2 minutes.
Is that 2 minutes already?
That's 2 minutes. You did it. All right, who would like to go next?
I guess I'll chime in.
All right, go ahead, Paul.
I agree with most everything everybody has said here. I don't think we should go scorched earth. I think that if Tom is willing to actually work to improve our membership numbers, that would be great. I don't like what he did. I'd like to see the money paid back. I like the measured approach that Dave put in his little blurb there on the chat. And that's about it.
Okay. I'm going to put this link up. I pasted Dave's bits into this little agenda document so that everybody has it all in one place, so you're not scrolling around in the chat. Who else would like to speak? 2 minutes.
I would.
Joe, am I seeing your hand up? Go ahead, Joe.
Yes. So I agree that I don't see this time we're having here as a 2-minute hate. I don't hate Tom Woodard, and I agree that we should not go scorched earth. However, we have our own agenda, we have our own goals, we have our own history of what we're trying to do, and I think that he betrayed that, not necessarily intentionally, but I think it's our obligation. I view him pretty much in the way I'd stand by my summary that I gave of his letter, my one paragraph summary. If he hasn't seen it yet, I'd be happy to send it to him. I don't think he's evil. I don't think he intentionally is trying to undermine us. I think he didn't know what he was doing. I think he didn't. He's new to the situation as a candidate and as a LP member, and he fell into a trap. He fell into the same trap that a number of other much more prominent people have fallen into in the past, and that's unfortunate. And I share the opinion of many other people that it's really unfortunate that he didn't talk to us first, so we could have explained the consequences of what he did. However, at this point, I think our obligation is to do what we feel is best for the party. And that does not include endorsing Steve Hilton in any way. I laid out in that email, and you now have it there, 10 different things that we could do, that we could say to various people. The first four have to do with things that we could say to him. And I don't see those as needing a motion because I think we've all pretty much people have already said those things right here. And he's here and he can hear them. Then the other six are things we could say to the rest of the world. Some of them I think were not particularly good ideas. I just included them for completeness. I would like to highlight three that I think we should do. Number five, we can distance ourselves from what he did. I think that's extremely important, and if we do nothing else, that's what we need to do. This is being portrayed by other people who have not seen the letter as the Libertarian Party of California is endorsing Steve Hilton. That is absolutely, we cannot allow that to stand. We absolutely have to say this was done by Tom Woodard. It was not done by us. It was not done with our knowledge. And we absolutely do not, as a group, endorse Steve Hilton or any Republican. Whatever anybody's personal opinions may be, that whether Steve Hilton is the lesser of all evils, we cannot be seen as endorsing him. Now, the second one is number 8. What we say, we can advise people to vote for him anyway, no matter what you think of what he did. Our interest in having him on the ballot was so that people could vote Libertarian. That is, we are struggling in this party, in this state, against the top two thing. We are struggling for attention against, all the Republicans, Democrats. The one thing he could do for us was be on the ballot. And that was his job. And people can still vote for him, and we should advise them to vote, everybody to vote for him, whether they were everybody, Libertarians and everybody else. Because if we don't do that, we're in effect telling them they should vote for somebody else. We would be endorsing the lesser of two evils theory. And we cannot do that. That is completely inconsistent with our goals. And then the third one I think we should consider, although this would take a little more work, is number 10. We can attack Hilton. This might make some of us feel better at getting back at what Woodard did. But the main reason why that could be valuable is as a learning experience for the people who hear us. It would be valuable for us to explain why we would not endorse Hilton by explaining that he is not a libertarian. And as part of that, we would be helping people understand what a libertarian is. So those are the three things that I would consider making a motion. As I said, the last one would require a little more work. Somebody actually has to go through and come up with a, endpoint argument about why Steve Hilton is not a libertarian, and I'm not in a position to do that right now. And we also don't have to do that today. We only have to agree that we are not endorsing Steve Hilton, and then all of us can write about that in various places. But I definitely would like to move some version of number 5 and number 8.
Okay. All right. Would anybody else like to speak here? We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes going once. What people want to say has been said. Okay. All right. So let's get involved in some motions here. I think there are two things that we need to kind of dispose of, right? Oh, Mimi's got her hand up. Mimi, do you have?
Yeah, I want to make a motion.
Oh, you want to make? Okay. What are you moving?
My first motion is that we move to direct the CSC to send notice to Tom that we would like the loan repaid. Granted, he may not have the money and he may not repay us, but I think that we need to make that happen. That's my first motion.
Second.
Oh,
Second that.
all right. That's seconded by, I think Mark Hinkle jumped in there first. All right. Is there an objection to directing the CSC to send notice to Tom that we would like the loan repaid? Okay. All right.
I have another motion.
All right. Maybe
These are the ones that I noticed when I called for the meeting. So I'm just
No, it's all
disposing
right.
of them. And
That's all
by
right.
the way, I very much like the motions that Joe's going to make. I'm just going to say that now. But my other motion is that the convention endorsed Tom. I believe that now that he is endorsed, that now that he has dropped out, although he really can't, and Joe's right, we can still vote for him. I believe that we should rescind our endorsement, which we can do with a 2/3 vote. I don't. This may be more controversial. Some people may want to do that. I don't believe that this is going scorched earth. I'm not saying that Tom is a horrible person. I've never said that. I just think that we need to be consistent that we don't endorse people that endorse other parties.
Second.
So I move that we
Is that
remove
Paul?
that.
Yes.
I think that's Paul. All right. So the motion on the floor then is to rescind the LPCA endorsement of Tom Woodard, that is seconded by Paul. Is there? This requires a threshold, but we can still object to this, right? Like, is there any objection
Yeah,
to
it
that?
requires if there's any
If there's an
objection, we have to
objection, then
do a
we'll
roll
vote it out
call.
and we'll do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there objection to
Yes.
rescinding the LPCA
Yes,
endorsement
I
of Tom?
have objection.
Okay, then let's vote it out.
Okay, my objection is that this is incompatible with the other motion I want to make. My point 8. I think it is an important part of our responsibility to give people a chance to vote Libertarian. And I think it would be inconsistent for us to rescind our endorsement and then at the same time tell people that they should vote for him anyway, since he's on the ballot. He's on the ballot. We helped him get on the ballot. The least we can get out of this is a chance for our members and other supporters to vote Libertarian. And I want to be able to tell people they should vote for him anyway, even if they disagree with what he said, and not because we want to. Actually, the opposite of supporting Steve Hilton is to vote for Libertarian. So I want to be able to say that, and it's possible that what Mimi wants to do could be worded in a way that's consistent with that. But as it stands, it doesn't sound like it to me.
All right.
So maybe can
Well,
you
let's-
somehow reword your motion to say
Well,
rescind our personal endorsement of him as I don't know, as something, but not imply that people should not vote for. In fact, vote Libertarian in this election.
okay, I'm going to speak to my motion then.
Okay.
I believe that we can still tell people to vote Libertarian. They can still vote for him. We're not saying that you can't vote for him, and we're not saying you shouldn't. Let me rephrase. We're not saying that you can't vote for a Libertarian, and we're not saying you shouldn't vote for a Libertarian. And being that there is a Libertarian on the ballot, you should do that. However, I am saying that as a body, we are no longer endorsing the individual for the position because he no longer represents us. He represents the Republican. And I think that it's important that we make that distinction. We can word it any way we'd like, but
Well, that's my
believe
concern, is that we word it in a way that doesn't suggest that people should vote for somebody else.
Well, and we can, if we do a press release or if something like that happens, or we could put it on our on the website. I don't care. I personally believe that as a party, what he has done is he has very publicly, and again, as June said, I mean, obviously Hilton is not of great moral character. If he didn't follow through on waiting the 24 hours for Tom to be able to tell us, I mean, obviously that's a problem, right? If he can't do that, then he's not respectful what Tom was wanting to do, and Tom wasn't respectful of what we as a party are. And also people are talking about we can have him, recruit for us and get members for us. On what message? The fact that he turned tail and supported somebody else? That's not a very libertarian message. So I mean, we can word it in whatever way we want in a press release, but I strongly believe that we need to rescind our endorsement. And so
move to amend.
we could do something else. You can, yeah, okay.
Okay. All right. What is your motion to amend, Joe?
I explained my concern. Move to amend to add this action shall not be construed as a recommendation that a recommendation not to vote Libertarian, including in this election, including in the election for this race.
I'll second that.
And the reason that's important to put in the motion is that you say we can write a press release. Yeah, but whoever writes the press release then, is only really bound by the words of our motion. So I just want to make clear that we are withdrawing our endorsement of him. We are not revoking our endorsement of voting using the Libertarian option in this election.
Okay.
And I second that because it specifically does not say to vote for Tom Woodard. It says to vote Libertarian.
All right, fair enough.
Right.
All right. So we got a motion and a second. I typed it into the little agenda thing there so people can see it. Is there objection to this amendment? Okay. You might check my spelling, Rebecca, as you cut and paste that. I was typing it in fast. Okay, so we have the amended motion here to rescind the LPCA endorsement of Tom. This action should not be construed as a recommendation not to vote Libertarian, including
It should be capital Libertarian, please.
Of course, yeah, but Rebecca can fix the formatting
well,
as it goes.
We're going to vote on it. We should have to vote.
Okay, fair enough. So that is the motion. I'll ask again, is there objection now to the amended motion?
Can you read the amended motion again, Lauren, please?
The amended motion is that we rescind the LPCA endorsement of Tom Woodard. This action shall not be construed as a recommendation not to vote Libertarian, including in this election. All right. So, any objection to that? Okay. All right. So that's passed.
I have a point of order just because I just thought of it because Starchild is voting. Did Rebecca put it in the minutes that Starchild became a voting member at the time that Dave left the meeting? Because that should be in the minutes.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
I will add it.
Can I add something too?
Sure. What do you need?
I think Mimi, I think you did an excellent job. But let's not send out a press release because we don't want to give this any oxygen. If you Google Steve Hilton and Tom Woodard, nothing comes up, so it's kind of hidden. Not many people know about this, and for once, I think that's a good thing. So don't give it any oxygen.
I don't think that's true at all. On social media, it's one of his top trending posts on all platforms.
Whose platform? Whose social media?
On Hilton's, it's definitely in his top 5 in the last week or two. So
on Discord and
no, on X, Facebook, Instagram, on all platforms, it is highly trending.
Okay, I could be wrong. I'm not on X and I'm not on Discord. So
okay. All right, so
I have a comment on that.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say the same thing last night. I was going to say that it's that nobody knows about this. When I saw that post, everybody was quoting that video, pointing to that video. It was on Hilton's Instagram, and it was on Hilton's Facebook, and my reaction was, let's just pretend this didn't happen. With respect to our members, we have been putting what Woodard does not seem to understand is that we have been working to get him votes among the people that we can reach, and my response was, well, our members don't even know that this happened. And when somebody said, oh, but it's all over social media, I said, yeah, it's all over Hilton's social media. Fine. He's using it to boost the morale of his supporters, but our people don't follow Hilton's.
Hilton.
That all changed. That all changed when Hilton started texting that video to our registered libertarians. I don't know exactly what he did. Maybe Tom can explain it. Maybe Tom had nothing to do with this, but they turn around and reach out to our people, which is a perfectly legitimate political tactic from his point of view. You know, he wants more votes, and he thinks that by getting by posting this video,
Sure.
which, by the way, I don't quite understand, actually, and maybe Tom can explain this too, what Tom said, because that video was highly edited. That video is clip, 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 clip. I have no idea what Tom actually said. What I know is what Hilton's social media or PR person decided he wanted to highlight about what Tom said. Maybe Tom actually said something better, but when Hilton turns around and Tom does not object to this and starts using that as a way to farm our people, then we have to be able to respond to that. So I think how much we respond, where we put it, how much we push these press releases or whatever you want to call them, statements, resolutions, has to depend on what goes on. We have to be prepared to use these if it becomes a news story in the general media.
For what it's worth, in case this is in
right, he
people's heads.
hardly endorsed.
Does
Hilton,
that say
right?
hardly endorsed Clinton? Okay.
It says hardly instead of heartedly. It does in the
that just shows the level of professionalism.
Yeah,
fair enough. I will mention because I got the text too. I got that text too, and I asked Tom yesterday. I said, like, I got this text. Surely other people got this text. Did you share campaign data with the Hilton campaign? And he said no. So whatever data and contact information Tom received, he did not share with the Hilton campaign. So, but there's lots of other ways to get voting data. So if you got that text, you didn't get it because Tom shared your details with Hilton.
He's able to just information.
Again, I don't blame Hilton for doing that. He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, of course. And I just because people might be concerned.
We have to be ready to respond to any libertarian. Libertarians are coming to us and saying, "Oh, why did you endorse Steve Hilton?" Oh,
I've gotten the same questions. I've gotten them consistently since yesterday, and he didn't. I have no doubt that he didn't give that information because Hilton has the same information we do from the Register of Voters and probably from L2. You know, he probably pays for that data.
And our people are asking for advice. Oh, who should we vote for now? And we have to say, no, you should keep voting Libertarian. We do not endorse any of these other people. And the amount and the intensity with which we have to broadcast that message is a reaction to what Hilton did. And we continue to do in the future.
All right. Is there any further business that we need to dispose of here? It sounds like the obvious action item here is that we need to produce some communications, a press release.
Well, yeah, the business is we're on. I think we have a motion on the floor. Did we vote on that motion?
Yeah, it passed with no objection.
Yeah, there was no objection to the amended motion.
The motion to withdraw
rescind the endorsement,
but this is not construed.
Correct. Yeah. There was no
objection. Well, yeah, I wanted to make the positive statement. I want to make another recommendation that we can use it or not use as we need.
This is a
new motion.
Okay, all right.
It's my number 8. We advise all who support liberty and the Libertarian Party to go ahead and vote Libertarian in this race.
Second.
Spelling all that right? Okay. So, and the implication here is that this would go out in some kind of communication to the membership.
It was the statement that we can, yes, that we would put in our newsletter, whatever, send out to our members, and that all of us have available as the answer to the question that we're going to be inevitably getting. Oh, who should I vote for now?
Okay, so there's a motion for that.
I already have members in my county asking that question.
Sure.
So, Joe, you want to just say vote Libertarian, not vote for Tom Woodard
for Tom.
specifically
No,
addressing
I
it?
don't want his name in it. I want them to vote
Okay.
Libertarian in
Yeah.
this race.
If you see Libertarian on the line, vote that
in
line.
this race. You got that? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
All right. So we have that motion. That's been seconded by Mark. Is there an objection to that?
Paul has his hand up.
Oh, Paul has your hand up. Yes, Paul.
I was just going to say maybe we should post that prominently on the
on the
on
candidate
our webpage.
on our website. Yes.
Yeah,
Right,
I mean,
right up front on the front page.
Yeah, this is clearly something that needs to go out in communications. Yes.
But the important thing here is that we take this position, and then all of our media efforts can be based on that.
Okay. All right. So is there objection to taking this position, putting this out in communications?
Yeah, I'm going to object.
You're going to object. Okay. Do you want to speak to the nature of your objection?
Well, I think that, all people, including libertarians, can make up their mind whom they want to vote for, and the Libertarian Party has to have a higher standard. So, I mean, I sent my vote in and I was tempted, like Jim, to vote for somebody else, but it was like, oh no, I'm going to, I want to show support for the Libertarian Party. So I cast it in for Tom, and now I totally regret that and wish I could get it back. I wouldn't vote for Steve Hilton. I was going to vote for Matt Mahon. Forgive me. I hope I don't get kicked out of the party for that. But, I don't want to kick too much dirt in the air, but his comments about building mobile homes at the California Convention and 8 minutes on California history through the missions that I had to endure in San Diego gave me serious doubts about him. So people need to make up their own mind. Vote who you think will support liberty, and I don't think it's Tom Woodard.
Okay. All right. June, you have a comment on this? You're on mute, June.
I was going to just abstain if it came to a voice vote, but I tend to agree with Pat on this. One of the things that bothered me about the discussion was that all the alternatives suggested were Republicans. I was leaning towards Mahon too, because he seemed to have competent administrative capabilities and didn't sound particularly more anti-libertarian than anyone else. I'm bothered by this trending towards the only alternative to libertarianism is Republicans, and I don't like that. As I said, if it comes to a voice vote, I'll probably just abstain. But I don't, and as I already posted in the comments in the chat, given the nature of the top two system, voting libertarian in the primaries is useless. It accomplishes nothing. We don't know how the whole crowd is going to vote, so you can't take the libertarian total as any indication of libertarian support. If we go to RCV, where someone can make their first choice a libertarian and back it up,
June, but
then it means something.
Okay. Well, this will be coming to a voice vote because Pat has voiced an objection. But before we do that, let's go Mimi and then Star Child and then Paul, it looks like. Mimi.
Well, I just want to say, as a party, we are a political party, and our goal is to get libertarians elected. The top two sucks, absolutely. But as a party, as a political party, we cannot say, vote your conscience for the lesser of two evils. We say vote libertarian because that's what we do as a political party. That's our job. You as an individual can vote for whomever you'd like. But I think that what Joe is doing with this motion and what he did with my motion of rescinding the endorsement is saying that we still want people to vote libertarian. We already have ballot access, so it's not like states that you need those votes to have ballot access. We have that. But I still think as a political party, we can't be advocating, and by the way, man I kind of like him too. I'm going to still vote libertarian because I want people to see that people vote libertarian. I just do. And most people out there, yes, it's trending on a lot of places, but most of the people in the state have no idea what happened. They had no idea who Tom was 3 days ago, and they don't have any idea who Tom is today. And most people aren't even paying attention really to the primary. Look at how low the primary turnout is. So I think that we're getting our pennies, kind of in a bunch over something that's not going to really, truly hurt us anyway. I mean, I don't want to go scorched earth, like I said, but this isn't going to hurt us. It truly isn't. What will hurt us, though, is if our messaging suddenly changes to say, don't vote Libertarian. I think that hurts us more than anything else. So I'm voting yes on this motion because of that.
Okay, there's a lot of hands going up here. But I think Star Child, you were next.
Yeah. So I
Starchild, you're frozen and
think that
we
the
can't
purpose
hear
is to
you.
promote freedom. So
Oh,
we
here we
should
go.
always. Can you hear me now?
That's a little better.
Testing. Hello.
Yes,
That's a little
now it's
better.
working.
I don't think that the party is be all end all. Our goal is to support freedom, and we should support the most pro freedom candidates. Hopefully, that should always be the big L libertarian. But in cases where it's not, I wrote in Ron Paul in 2008 when we nominated Bob Barr, and I think that was the correct choice that year. But I totally disagree that it's useless to vote libertarian just because you think we're not going to win that election. It builds the party. It shows support for the ideas. And your one vote is not going to change who the next California governor is. Realistically speaking, it's just you have a better chance of being hit by lightning or run over by a bus or winning the lottery or something. What it is like taking an opinion poll. And this is the way democracy works. It's like if you say, well, which flavor of ice cream do you like best, chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry? If you think most people are going to vote chocolate or vanilla, but you really prefer strawberry, you're not going to say chocolate or vanilla just because you think that's how other people are going to vote. You're going to say what you actually want, strawberry. And if people don't do this, then democracy is broken because election outcomes will never reflect the true preferences of the electorate. So you're not just defending libertarianism and the Libertarian Party by voting libertarian, you're defending democracy and the ability of people to actually choose the government instead of the media choosing the government by telling people who's likely to win and who's not likely to win.
Okay.
Where people are getting their information, making their votes on when they think, oh, well, I can't vote libertarian because that'll be for throwing away my vote or something. I think it's not mathematically correct. It's not helping us.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Paul, and then Wes, and then Mike. Paul.
Yeah, to June's point, if you don't vote libertarian in the primary, if you vote for somebody else, we're not gonna win the primary. That's the thing. But if you don't vote libertarian, if nobody votes libertarian, then libertarians will never get to the general election. That's just logic. So we got to do what we got to do with the situation, the hand we're dealt. I think it's important that we continue to vote libertarian whenever possible. That's about all I got to say.
Okay. All right. Wes.
I think my question here has probably already been answered, but I'm just trying to figure out what we as a party get when people vote, libertarian at the primary. Like, do we get any sort of benefit from the numbers at a primary if our guy doesn't make it to the main election? Like, we don't get anything, right?
I think at best what we get is something soft and assumed, like we scare the other parties into realizing that libertarians exist or something like that. I think that's often a tack that people take. But in terms of like retaining ballot access, like we have to hit certain percentage thresholds, those rules don't apply to us here in California.
Yeah, I moved here from Virginia, so we always had a problem with that.
Right. There are states where that matters a lot, and so they're very, very concerned with that. That is a lesser concern for us here in California because the ballot access rules are different.
Okay.
Yeah. Mike.
Okay. I think the messaging that we're going for here is going to be confusing to people not on this call because we're saying vote libertarian. We're saying don't vote for Tom, but Tom is a libertarian guy. So I'm just worried that it's just going to be confusing to people because we seem to be talking across purposes.
All right, that's fair. And a lot of that would depend on how we phrase this, so that it is comprehensible to the reader.
I don't see how you can phrase it that to give both options. But I'll look and see what the phrasing is. But
all right, I mean, well, language can workshop through the weekend, I guess. Yeah, absolutely.
Point of information: Dave
yes?
is back on the call, so Starchild is no longer a voting member.
Dave, okay, all right. All right, Brandon. Then let's bring this thing to a vote. Brandon.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go. All right.
I'm in agreement with Mike. It's really confusing at this point because it's like, is he endorsed, not endorsed, vote Libertarian, don't vote Libertarian? And to be honest with you, the more this conversation goes on, the more I'm kind of not necessarily siding with Tom, but it's like it's pretty clear that even libertarians aren't even voting for the libertarian candidate at this point. And it even seems like even beforehand, even if he didn't drop out, libertarians weren't going to vote for a libertarian. And so it's like it is kind of worrisome. It's like, what is the point here? And if the point isn't to get votes for our own candidates, and even if our own XCOM won't vote for our candidate, then it's like maybe a power play would be a better option at this point. And I'm kind of upset at everybody at this point now. But regardless of the fact, it is confusing at this point, the wording of vote libertarian, unendorsed Tom, and it is getting confusing. I'm leaving it at that. I'm probably going to abstain from voting in general, but it is what it is.
Okay. All right. We're back around to Joe, and then let's see if we can bring this thing to a vote.
So
Joe.
on the confusing issue, I think they are two separate points. They're only confusing if you try to say them together is some coherent paragraph. But the reason we need both points is because they're answers to different questions. We've got people out there saying, what? How can you support this guy who did this thing with Steve Hilton? And we have to say, we no longer support this guy. Then we have people asking us, in not necessarily in the same context, what should I do now? How should I cast my vote? And I think the answer to that is you should still vote libertarian. Now, the reason why it's important for us to give that second message is that this party was founded in the hope that we could become a realistic alternative electorally to the Democrats and the Republicans. It was specifically in opposition to the Democrats and the Republicans. And we have not achieved that, but that is still our long-range goal. Along the way, we have to do other things. Our vote has to be available to mean other things. When we put our candidates on the ballot, even though they're not going to win, it is not pointless. Generations, decades of libertarian activism has said it is not pointless. One of the things we do is we give people a chance to express at the ballot on election day support for our ideas. Voting libertarian now in this election still expresses that. Nobody is going to misinterpret a vote for the libertarian candidate in this governor's race as anything but somebody still supporting our ideas. Well, the other thing we do is we serve as a protest vote. California does not have none of the above, but it is a way for people to say those other 60 candidates, we don't support them because they're not libertarian or for whatever reason. So I think we should advise our supporters that the best thing they can do, I don't know, I suppose another thing they can do is not vote at all. I don't know if we want to say that, but I think it's the role of the Libertarian Party to give people a libertarian option on the ballot. We can still do that without endorsing Tom Woodard as a person. And so that's why I made this motion, and I hope people will vote for it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's bring this thing to a vote. I think we've run around on this for quite a while. So let's roll call this, please. I think this is a simple majority vote.
It is. I was just going to make that point. It's a majority because it's not an endorsement and it's not a resolution. It's just a main motion. So it requires, but it still requires 8 votes. It can't get less than 8 votes.
Fair enough. All right, Rebecca, will you please roll call us off?
But please repeat the motion.
Okay, the motion is to Joe moves that we advise all to support Liberty and the Libertarian Party and go ahead and vote Libertarian in this race. And messaging then would reflect that. I think the implication here is that we would produce messaging that reflects this message to the Libertarian Party.
Our position, and people can edit, can elaborate on it however they want.
Right. We'll work it into communications. Absolutely. Okay. So that's the motion that is before us now. That's been seconded. Rebecca, if you would please roll call us on this.
All right, Pat.
You're muted, Pat.
I vote no. Thank you.
Okay, me, Rebecca, I will vote yes. And Mike,
I vote no.
Joe,
Yes.
Brandon,
Brandon, are you on mute?
Let's go, Brandon.
I'm abstaining.
Someone had to say it.
Abstain. All right.
hey, Francisco,
No.
hey, June,
Abstain.
Mark,
Yes.
Wesley,
Yes.
Mimi,
Is Mimi on mute?
No,
Oh.
I said yes. You didn't hear me?
Oh,
No,
sorry.
you
I
were
missed it.
muted.
Okay.
okay,
Oh,
Dave,
Yes.
okay, I think that was a yes.
That sounds yesy. Okay.
All right,
Yes.
Richard
Yeah.
and Paul.
Yes.
Okay, and Lauren.
Where are we at?
Let's see. There's 8 yeses, 3 nos, and 2 abstains.
Oh, so this is already at passing, so I don't need to vote. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
And
All right.
my idea number 10, I don't think requires a motion. I think anybody who wants to work on that, finding out, coming up with things that explain why we don't support Republicans can go ahead and do that
all of us
our
is going to do
endorsement,
that in
without
our own
our
way.
explicit
Yeah.
command.
Right. All right. Well, we're coming into about an hour on this meeting. Is Star Child, you have your hand up?
Yeah, since we're here, and I think we should be able to dispense with this quickly, I'd like to, I guess I can't vote at this point, correct? But if someone would make a motion, I think we should endorse AB 1537, which is like defend the guard.
I
basically.
object.
Or
Yeah,
No,
I'm
I
not.
object.
I move
It's
to
not on the
adjourn.
agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's let because this is a special meeting, we can only deal with one piece of business, and that piece of business is this Woodard thing.
Are you sure that's correct? Is that the ruling of the chair, Lauren?
That is correct.
That is the ruling of the chair. Yeah.
It's Ronar. It's
spoken by the chair.
yeah.
So unfortunately, we can't take up any other business here in this meeting. Given that,
It's
Wesley
because
has just
the meeting was called. We could have had a meeting to do whatever we wanted, but that's not how it was described when we were asked to come here at 8 a.m.
That's a fair clarification. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This meeting was called for the express purpose of disposing of this Woodard thing, so that we were all on the same page coming out of that.
Okay. Well, I hope we will address this as soon as possible, and I hope people are not just throwing up technical roadblocks.
Well, I urge you to add it in a comment to the ongoing agenda for next month, and we can.
I put it in the comments in the chat.
not good
No.
enough.
The agenda.
Yeah, on the
document.
agenda document.
The agenda drafting.
Okay, well, please, part of not throwing up technical roadblocks is not making the people that take the initiative to bring stuff forward jump through hoops to get it heard. You all know now we're talking.
The flip side of that is that I don't want to chase around whatever it is you're putting up wherever it is you're putting it. So having a single clearinghouse place for everybody to put the stuff they want to see is the most efficient way to do that. I have put the link in the chat.
Is that the one that you want me to post it to? Okay.
Absolutely. If you scroll down on that document, you will see the currently growing agenda for EC Meeting 9 June. Feel free to throw a comment in there anywhere in the 9 June section, and I will add it. All right. This document is perpetual. This link should stay live. I'll just update the date each month going forward. So this is the place people can come to, so that I don't miss an email. Nobody misses an email. We didn't see it in chat, whatever. This is the clearinghouse place for that. All right. So we have a motion to adjourn from Wes. Second from, I think Paul was first. So, is there an objection to adjourning at this point?
Wait, point of order. I'm sorry if I missed this. This is early in the morning for me. Did we include in one of our wording that we want the $5,000 repaid?
Yes, that was the first motion made today.
Okay.
I would like to just note, and I know that you can't discuss adjournment. I want to note that Tom does have his hand up. If anybody would like to hear. I'm just noting it because.
Okay. All right. Well, here's what we'll do.
I'm happy to hear from him.
If there is no objection to adjourning the meeting at this time, we'll adjourn the meeting officially. but then I'll keep it open and we can
Well,
hang out with
no,
Tom
wait,
here
I
for a bit.
object.
Object.
Oh,
I
okay.
object. If he
All
wants
right.
to speak, we should give him the
Yeah.
privilege of speaking within our meeting and
Yeah.
having being on the record.
All right,
Agreed.
fair enough. All right.
We still need to vote on
Then
the
I think
adjournment.
I think we need to vote the adjournment motion then. So Rebecca, will you please roll call us for adjournment?
Can we ask him whether he wants to speak?
His hand is up. I assume he
Oh,
wants
okay.
to speak.
Yeah.
All right.
So Rebecca, if you would roll call us on Wes's motion to adjourn.
Okay, Pat.
I vote no.
Okay, me, Rebecca. I will vote no. Mike.
No.
Joe.
No.
Brandon.
No.
Francisco.
No.
June.
No.
Mark.
No.
Wesley. Wesley, are you still here?
I don't see him.
All
Has
right.
Wes dropped out? Okay.
Okay, Mimi.
No.
Dave.
No.
Dave, are you here still? I don't think he's here.
I don't see Dave anymore either.
All right. Richard.
No.
Okay, Paul.
Only because Tom wants to speak, I'm voting no.
Okay, Star Child has been seated, so Star Child.
I vote no.
Okay, and Lauren.
Where are we at?
It's 0 yes and 12 no.
All right. Well, we are not adjourning then. I don't need to vote. So, Tom, let's just. Do you want to take 2 minutes and give us kind of a summary of where you've been and where you're at?
No, I don't want to take 2 minutes. I want to actually just read from my notes from the comments that were made, and I'll do it as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Because the 2 minutes would limit me to trying to cram a bunch of observations into
Fair enough.
a little bit of time.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
Pat Wright says I have low moral character. Okay, it's a morality question then what I did. That I completely agree with. I mean, I completely disagree with. I can't believe it's a morality question, but I invite him to have a discussion with me at any time. We say we can't support another party in June. I go to our convention in San Diego and we have Republicans speaking at dinner. But when it was time to give a speech, I was allotted 5 minutes and then questions. I was understanding too that on several regional meetings, we were going to have Chad Bianco come and other candidates, et cetera. And I'm confused about all that. I am not a long-term political operative, as you all know. I'm a newbie. But at the same time, I knew before I ever even entertained the idea of running that a libertarian had a snowball's chance in hell of getting elected in California. I knew that. I even expressed it in my speech. If you guys want to go back and listen to my speech at the convention, I said that. I said it's a very difficult thing, but it's not difficult to get out the ideas that make libertarianism palatable and to express it to as many people as possible. And that was my intent. And by the way, I think I accomplished it in many ways, at least tried really hard. I'm totally interested in continuing a membership drive. At least I showed up to this call totally interested in that until the main election in November. I even have it organized and a person on it. Government-funded program that I proposed, anathema to libertarians. I think June said that. No, it wouldn't be. It would be from savings that we get from other areas. It would not be a new government-funded program, and it wouldn't be run by the government. It would be done by private sector. What I proposed. What Tom did to us. What was it Tom did to us? It seems like it's much better to libertarians that I would just lay down and die on June 2nd and then try to reform myself around some new initiative and just call it a day. My analysis is different. I feel like if I get and Lauren is in receipt of this document, if I get the position that adopts completely out of the blue, by the way, a policy that I crafted after a lot of research and time and something I know a lot about because of what I've done in my life, that would put a libertarian squarely, possibly, of course, the general election has to be won, and I understand how uphill that is, and I understand how difficult that is, but that would put a libertarian in charge of a very visible and important program in the state. And to me, that was a win. That was something that brought a lot of recognition to the party and a lot of cachet. Joe Dean, you said we have our own agenda and that I betrayed that. He didn't know what he was doing. He fell into a trap. Let me point out that the falling into the trap is speculative by everybody who said that. I think what's speculative also is who's going to win the election in November. None of us know that yet. And I understand that it's an uphill battle, but I didn't fall into any trap. I'm not a trap faller into. I play tournament poker and I'm a good player and I pride myself on that. I analyze things to a fairly well, sometimes too much. I thought it was much better that I didn't die on June 2nd and that I would continue and that some of my programs actually got wing. I know Tom Frey has adopted two of my policies, by the way, a change from what he published in November. I like the fact that my ideas get out there because they're libertarian ideas. And by the way, they are private sector. They're not another big government agency. You want to distance yourselves from what I did. Fair enough. I understand in this Libertarian Party that there's all kinds of people with disparate viewpoints and everything. It's, we're a party of independent-minded people, and that doesn't. It's like that's all we have in common sometimes. Which sometimes we disagree on everything. That's okay. Philosophically, I'm with you. I don't agree with everybody, and I don't just toe everybody's line. But at the same time, I am committed to libertarian principles. To what you're doing right now, I see as punitive. I will not respond today, but I will just give you my observations here. I need to think because when I'm as triggered as I am inside right now, it's normally the best time for me not to speak. Rescind your endorsement. Okay. Hilton did not wait and publish the announcement early. This is my mistake. There's two announcements. And I first said I didn't understand the announcement was going to come out on Thursday afternoon. It apparently is two announcements. And had I read more carefully, they did say they were going to publish it on Thursday evening, afternoon, that one. And this weekend, either yesterday or Monday, the announcement of me in a position with their government should they win, in an important position. That's a separate video that we recorded at the same time, and it should be coming out and you'll see it. The speculation that I could be getting gamed, okay, let's all bet a sandwich on it and we'll see what happens in the future. I don't think anybody here has any particular insight into it. But if I got gamed, then I would be dead. I'd fall off the cliff again, just like I will in 2 weeks from now. So I don't know what the impact is of that. It's my destiny at this point anyway to fall off the cliff on June 2nd. If this works and I'm not getting gamed and I'm not getting fooled and I'm not naive and I'm not a political newbie and I'm not misreading the situation, and it is a really coherent, incredible policy because it would lower gasoline and fuel prices and energy prices for everybody in the state, and there would be a reason behind it. The reason that we're paying those high prices is because of the restrictions. It's causing fuel to go offshore, and now we're importing over 30% of our fuel. If we could go back to using California resources and fix 3 times the atmospheric CO2 as all the bullshit, taxes, fees, programs, fuel surcharges, carbon recapture, and all those policies, which are Democrat policies. And by the way, All Democrats have said on the stump that they support that. What's killing California the most is the cost of living. What's contributing the most to the cost of living? The cost of energy. Could this have enormous consequences if I was successful and in charge of this program? Absolutely, and it's something I know about. But instead, it's being interpreted as I went and betrayed the party. I completely disagree. You guys made the motion and discussed it before even speaking to me this morning, but it's okay, I got your comments. What people don't understand is that we have been encouraging people to vote for Tom. I understand that, but I can tell you this, the average of all the meetings put together the Libertarians have organized as I've gone up and down the state is about 7 people at a time. And I understand that we're a small party, but we're up against enormous machinery. And if it makes people happy just to see a name with an L on it on the ballot that's going to get slam dunked, that doesn't make me happy. What makes me happy is the party would grow and flourish. I think they have the very best operating philosophy for how we should run our self-governance. And I believe that. I'll die believing that. I just feel really discouraged right now. It seems that it is better to many libertarians that I fail to continue and potentially hold an important role in government. June said the only alternative to libertarians are Republicans. No, by the way, June, I do like Mahan myself as a person. But the problem is the Democrat Party has a platform that cannot be compromised on global warming. And that's why we are the most expensive state to live in. The alternative I brought up and presented is something that circumvents that and yet handles the Dems' stated objective to fix atmospheric CO2, only it fixes 3 times that much, while it does all kinds of other things. Mahan's the only one that I actually have talked about, even on a podcast. Somebody said, who would you endorse? I said, I'm not endorsing anybody. Who do you like? I said, the first thing I said was, I like Mahan as a person. I think he's a future player. I think that Lauren's statement, there's something soft of value that we have numbers in the primary. Our numbers are so small. Even people that say that they believe in libertarianism don't vote or register libertarian on the ballot a lot of times. I think our numbers are actually way bigger than what our results are. And I don't know how those small numbers continue to help the Libertarian Party. It seems like a perennial problem that we get a very small fraction and somehow call that a win. Maybe we don't have I say this, and I don't say it critically, I say it just observationally. I wrote in my letter that libertarians are not a small, tight-knit group. They're a small, contentious group. Maybe we would be a large, contentious group. It's part of because we can all come here and disagree and still understand that's within our rights. But I'm not up for that. I'm up for growing the party and for growing the reach and growing the promotion of libertarian ideals. So you guys can go ahead now. I'm going to speak to my own financial situation. I got paid finally after 3.5 years, my severance pay for the project that I ran for 20 years in Mexico. Took pulling teeth. I'm not a wealthy man because of the situation with my son. When he passed away, it left a huge black hole of finance. And about 12 years ago, I was in Mexico City Airport, and there was a Business Week magazine, and the front cover was a story on the real crisis behind the opiate crisis. And I looked at it, and I bought it so I could read it on the plane. I don't think I'd bought a Business Week in 25 years, but I bought it. And the thesis of the story was that how many families that had addicted members of their family or mentally ill members of their family that became addicted spent everything possible to try to help them. I did 18 years of it. And then I could have several times declared bankruptcy, but I didn't. But my son died. And then I stopped getting paid about 4 years ago until I just got paid recently. Now I only owe 26,000 instead of 156,000 or something, and have largely self-funded my own campaign. I live on Social Security, so you all know, and a small $1,100 a month pension from Allergan. I'll pay it back. I'm not going to duck it. Pat Wright, anybody who knows me wouldn't say I have low moral character ever, but you can think what you want. That's your prerogative. I came to this meeting and I wrote also to people this week. I still want to do the membership drive because I think we can easily surpass, my idea was that every libertarian recruit 3 new libertarians. That would triple the size of the California Party or quadruple it, really. It would add 300%. But I have to think about that. My gut is really sore right now from the grief that I feel from listening to you all without having talked to me and everything, and how ginned up you get on this. Well, I think we're a small, dysfunctional group. And I put my shoulder into this. I put my shoulder into my research, into my policies. I worked day and night on it. I've done everything I could to go out and spread the word. And I'm going to just make my own decision on what I do from here. But you got my word on the money. Sorry about the rescission of the endorsement. You guys endorsed me and then you didn't because I did something that I believe would actually help the party more than falling off the cliff June 2nd and then being able to talk to you all at cocktail parties or something about the time that I ran. I actually wanted to do something with it and I still do. I hope this goes through with Hilton. I wouldn't bet against it. And I wouldn't bet against me. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm reluctant to open this to discussion because I think that we could go round and around on a lot of this for all day long and never reach any kind of resolution.
Please don't. I
But
think
yeah,
Tom should have the last word.
Yeah, I feel like Tom addressed basically everything that's been said in this meeting. And if you feel like you want to continue to take something up with Tom, I think that you can do that offline. There's no reason for all of us to sit here and bear witness to that.
I move
So,
to adjourn.
all right. Well,
Okay.
so we have a motion to adjourn from Mimi. We have a second from, I think June was actually fast in there first. So is there an objection to adjourning the meeting at this time? Okay, then we are adjourned at 9:18. Thank you all very much. Enjoy your Saturday, and we'll see you in Grand Rapids.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Tom, for what you said. I appreciate it. And I hope that we can talk at some point later, but thank you for for letting us know your thoughts. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Ditto.
All right. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.